If you ever wanted to fish on a literal cloud, have one of the required rods for obtaining the latest dev rod called the Pinion's Aria with some crazy fishing mechanics, and figure out how to climb the treacherous Northern Expedition mountain, you'll need a Heaven's Rod, and this guide is exactly for you. Assuming you've never done it before, your aim is to try and arrive to this spot. There are some tents, and you want to focus on two main things. One being an oxygen tank, and just to be sort of on the same page as you are, as if I've never done it before, that's what we're gonna put on. We put on the basic oxygen tank. So we pick it up, 1,000 coins, we go ahead. I think the only other thing I would advise on getting is a glider. So if you can get one from, I think it's the Ancient Isles, or maybe have another one from somewhere else, use that. It's gonna help you greatly. Second thing is gonna be fire. It's gonna keep you warm. It's not an active mechanic as of yet, but you'll be looking out for these in case you start getting cold the higher up we get. Next up we have these refill stations. You should be able to see quite a few of those, and I'll try to point them out along the way. But that's pretty much all you need. And let's say you don't have any jack threads or anything like that, so I'm unequipped and we can just start carrying on. So going along the path, we'll probably run into quite a few caves or sort of nooks and crannies that you can explore, but I would recommend for now to focus on obtaining the best oxygen tank you can get and the jacket that's going to keep you warm. So we'll try to focus and do exactly that. Our main goal is to pretty much just follow where the ladders and these sort of ropes with lights go. It can be confusing at sometimes because it kind of branches out, but don't be too worried. Also, this is where we can find our first refill station. If I haven't missed one, you probably shouldn't need it just yet, but additionally this is where also you'll find your first, or whichever crystal you want to call. There's 4 in total. For this one we'll need a pickaxe, and for now we're just going to leave it here and I'll show you where to get a pickaxe, and then we can actually come back down here. Hopefully you spoke to the innkeeper to save your location at the bottom. If not, there's another one at the very top. I have mine saved at the very top, so hopefully we won't need its services. But yeah, let's carry on. We're now up to our second refill station. This is just a cave that you can do some fishing in. You can also go along this edge, but it's not recommended now. As soon as we get up, just make a right turn and continue on forwards. So as we're going along the path, there will be a couple other various places where you'll need to pick up the crystals, but for now we're just focusing on the equipment, so you could sort of last on top of this massive mountain as long as possible. Again, if you have a glider or anything that helps you sort of get through this path faster, use it. It's highly recommended. It saves you a lot of time first, and second of all, it saves you both oxygen and the temperature. And you can see the mechanics are already kicking in. And we're starting to lose some temperature and we're getting colder. So I think what we'll be looking out for next is an actual fire. And the luck is in our favor. This is where we get, this is I believe like the, you could say the first/second base camp, if we call that one the first one. Instead of just going through, we're taking the right path, just go to your left. And here we can first of all find a fire to warm up. Next up we have a refill station. We have some rods we can buy. We have a pickaxe, which is very important. If you remember, we just discovered that sort of iceberg thing that keeps the crystal. And one of the most important parts, beginner oxygen tank. So you would go ahead, purchase it. I'll go ahead and equip it. Have it just right here. Oh, nope, I think this one's a beginner. Yep. So we'll get the beginner one equipped. As for the rest of it, you can feel free to explore it later, but for now let's continue on. Let's heat up a little bit more again. Let's refill our oxygen and we're back on our way. So the second crystal is actually going to be inside this cave, or this spot called the Frigid Cavern. The moment you go in, it might seem a little bit empty or weird. have another refill station just in case. And once you hop up here, behind all these icebergs, there's going to be this I think it's called the shadowy figure. So just go ahead, talk to him. I'm probably going to skip past this point, and you'll receive your technically first crystal. There you go. That's all it takes. You just get it. I think it's called, yeah, we get the green energy crystal. So first one is sorted. Once you have that, we're gonna keep on heading up. Kind of got sidetracked, and I said we'll focus on the equipment first, but since the crystal was so close, managed to pick it up. From there on, remember we went up here, went there to get our pickaxe and the oxygen tanks. So now go to the other side. This is the part where you would need the avalanche event. I'll try to cover that afterwards. Again, we're trying to focus on the equipment first because we're losing temperature and the oxygen, but this is where the other crystal would spawn. But for now, we'll just carry on because we're running out of time to reach our next point. This one is probably going to be a pretty long trek. You'll run into this area. This is part of another like setup. I'm not going to explain it now or probably in this video at all because you would need 2 people, I believe, to complete it. I can't remember what the rod is called. It's something like sunshine, sunbeam, whatever. Basically a massive beam shines into it, the ice melts, and you can pick it up. But instead what we'll do is we'll just continue on following the ladders, going continuously up. Even though it seems like we're getting close, we're actually quite a ways away. So just keep going. Again, if you have your glider or anything that helps you boost your speed, use that. We're continuing on along these cracks, following the ladders. We'll do a little bit of parkour, kind of go around the edges. As I said before, follow the ladders and the ropes with the lights on, so that means we don't go there, just go up here. And we're making it through so far. We can see our temperature dropping. I believe we should be okay. We probably will make it just in time. But basically we're on the lookout for our next fire, just to heat up a little bit. And I believe our next purchase is going to be coat. That will actually keep us warm, and we won't have to worry about the temperature dropping constantly and looking for the next fireplace or fire pit just to keep our energy. You can see it's rapidly dropping. I don't know if it's because it's nighttime, but still push on. We should be able to make it. I'm not sure how well can you do it if you don't have a glider on with you, but without it, with it, it's not that bad and might actually mess up. Okay, we're starting to take a little bit of damage. Let's see if we can make it to a fire spot just in time. And that one here. This is where we heat up. So, we'll let the temperature go back up. Not sure about the health. We probably won't be worried about it, but 2 important points. Refill station, an intermediate oxygen tank, which I already have, so we'll go ahead and equip that one. Boop, plop it on, and if I remember correctly, it's somewhere around, oh, it's actually right over here. So next to the oxygen tank and to the fishing rod that you can also purchase, if we just keep going up, and just another step up, we have our winter cloak. Sorry, it wasn't called the coat. So we equip that. Boom. This is pretty much the last of your concerns for the temperature. I believe it won't or shouldn't drop below 36 degrees. So now your only worry is going to be oxygen. So keep in mind to be on the lookout for these sort of white oxygen tanks to refill your oxygen. But now that we're done with this, let me see if I can Get my bearings just right. And if it's not wrong, I'll probably have to cut it out because I think we have to go. No, it's not through here. Okay, I think we have to backtrack a little bit. Yeah, because we took the path towards the camp, if you remember. So this is where we sort of went up. We saw the ladder. Instead, once you go up, obtain your cloak. Just keep going forward this way. I believe we'll go like all around the mountain through another cave. I think we missed like a cave or two already, but I'm not going to cover those. It's mainly just some like fishing spots and parts of the requirement to unlocking that, whichever I described, sunbeam rod. But again, you'll need 2 people to complete it. I mean, you can get to the point where you can complete it before it. I think it's only the final part that requires 2 people, and you hand out like crystals or something like that also, and then it gets unlocked. But I don't want to get ahead of myself and give you some misinformation. Just have to remember why we're going on. Anyway, we continue our journey. We keep going up. I believe we'll have another 1 oxygen tank upgrades, and we'll be getting to the main area pretty soon. It shouldn't be that hard to navigate. It kind of just goes all around it, and basically as long as you're going up, you're on the right track. And you'll know you're on the right track when you see this sort of thing. So this is pretty much the final part. This is where we can buy another winter cloak. Convenient, but you probably wouldn't have made it without it. Next up, we have our last advanced oxygen tank, which I'll equip now since I do have it. And lastly, we have an advanced glider. Again, you probably won't make it without the oxygen tank and the winter cloak. I think the winter cloak especially, because there's only like 1 other fireplace. But yeah, this is where you can buy it if you haven't had a better one yet. And if you're wondering what's the difference between the basic glider, it's just that it's faster. It's similar to this one. I think this is called like the bat glider that I have equipped. Other than that, well, once we have our oxygen refilled, this is the main area you want to get to, and this is where we will be activating our crystals. But there are some other details that you need to know in order to sort of finish this off and be able to obtain the Heaven's Rod. So we'll get to that part now. Now that we got our gear and our oxygen tanks and our first energy crystal, we can go ahead and move on to obtaining the rest of the crystals. So we have 1, we technically need 3 more. How do we get them? So for starters, you can actually check. One of them is just about here. Sorry, that was a green one, so the red one is here. You can view it, and as long as you have the money for it, you would think like, hey, I can buy it. You'll hear the sort of ka-ching sound, but nothing will happen. You will not actually obtain it. So to do it, you talk to this guy right here. Say, hey, how do I get the shards? Blah, blah, blah. And he'll tell you that you need to collect 3 of them, and then he'll tell you how to get this one. So let's get to that part. The way it works is that we already have our first shard crystal. If you remember, at the sort of very beginning or the base of this climb, we entered a cave where I said you'll need a pickaxe to be able to break it open. And around like the second base camp is where we bought our pickaxe. Pickaxe, there we go. We have it right here. So if you bought it, what you'll need to do is actually you'll need to make your way back down. So don't worry, it's not going to be that sort of treacherous of a climb or so. Since we now made it, I forgot to show you where the inn is, but you can actually save at the top of the mountain. But yeah, it doesn't matter for now. We'll probably just make the climb back. But yeah, for the first part, we sort of make our way down. We need to find where we actually spawn, and I think I'm way too ahead of this. So we'll just backtrack a little bit to where the spawn is. You don't have to follow my routes like any way you have, any means possible. If you're wondering, there's an innkeeper here. So if you arrived from here, you can talk to him, save your spot, so you don't have to keep making it back. But hopefully you have your pickaxe purchased. And if you do, I'll just show you the path once again, in case you're skipping it or skipped past the part where we get to it. But yeah, you're just pretty much from the arrival point of the island. You kind of go here until you meet the sort of first set of tents. Go into this cave, and that's your crystal. So just go up to it, click a few times. If you've done any of the dripstones mining, you'll know exactly how this works. But yeah, just sort of keep on spam clicking, and there you go. You'll be able to collect your blue crystal. With the blue crystal out of the way, I think we'll get to the, you could say, a little bit more complicated part. I haven't done this before, but it should be pretty straightforward. Basically what we're after is either an avalanche event. If you remember along the path, I stopped in one of the spots and I said, you'll need an avalanche for this, blah blah blah, yada yada, and that's where we'll see like the crystal. If not, we'll get there pretty soon. It's just after this secondary base camp. And if the event is not happening, which is pretty rare, I can't tell you the chances exactly right now, but it doesn't happen that often. There's a way to trigger it, and the way to do it is by getting an avalanche totem. And if I remember correctly from all the other guides that I saw and read about, there should be one just along the bottom, but I'll get to the spot, and if you have the totem you can use it, because this is where sort of the avalanche will happen. But if you just give me a moment, I'll check it out if it's exactly where I think it is. Okay, so I did do a quick double check just to be sure that I'm in the right spot, and I was. So we'll just continue on from the spot where I just told you to use the avalanche totem at, and where the crystal will sort of fall. But to get it, if you don't have the totem just yet, follow along. It's gonna be like pretty much around midway through the path of getting to the next base camp. So just around this area where like the sort of big arc or the bridge starts going up to the sort of main part of the island, if you just take a right, you can see it glowing in the distance. That's the avalanche totem, costs 150,000. We'll just grab one here, and we need to make our way back again. So we're just heading back where we came from. It's sort of across the other bridge that we just went along. So if you have a glider, again, glide through, shouldn't be that long. Keep going. It's around this area. So we're just gonna stop around right around here. If I remember correctly, it should drop around in this area and we'll need to glide down. But the way we do it is we take out avalanche totem. As you can see, I only have one, never used one, so let's see how it works. Okay, we got an avalanche warning. Boom. We can see stuff starts falling all over the place, and just by this tree there's a pretty strong glow. We just jump down, and there we go. We can collect the crystal. Great. Now we say, what's next? We technically have 3 of them, right? So we'll check energy crystals. We have the green from the cave using the pickaxe. The blue. I'm sorry, it was the blue from using the pickaxe, the green from talking the mysterious shadowy figure, and the yellow crystal that we just picked up now. All we have to do now is just to get back up to the top of the mountain. I'm not going to show you the track again, so we'll continue once I'm back up there. Now that you're finally back up, we're back pretty much to where we left off. Main point with the glider, the tanks, and so on. 2 words of very strong advice. First one, talk to this guy, because we'll probably need him just to get back here. It says to save our respawn location, and I'm pretty sure you probably know how to do it already. It's sort of like if you ever played The Sims and took out a ladder out of the pool to see what happens, you kind of do just that to respawn back here. Second option is your traveler's whistle. If you buy one from the merchant, it's a random chance, whatever. If you have it, you have the option for Northern Expedition, and you can unlock each of these areas. It will cost you to teleport there, and if you don't have them unlocked, just like I don't, what you actually need is to complete the full bestiary for that specific area just to get it unlocked. Anyway, now that we have that out of the way, we talk to our hiker guy. We say, hey, how can we get the last one? And he'll just tell you that maybe search other islands for the clue as to its whereabouts. What it means by that is that we're going to be going on a button hunt. I believe, if I'm not wrong, there are 5 buttons in total, and we'll need to visit a separate island for each one, just to get this sort of little door to open up, and then we'll be able to purchase the crystal. So without further ado, let's get on with our first island. The first button is in Moosewood, so if you have a magic mirror, use that. If not, use any other means you can just to make it back. And if you ever flew past this, you saw this leaderboard, and there's a button just behind it. You hold down on E. Keep in mind that the button should turn green. I've had a couple servers when I went around filming for this video, trying to press them, and they wouldn't turn green. It means that it's glitched. Somebody tried activating it, didn't do it, whatever. If the button doesn't turn green, if you hold down on it, it's glitched. Hop servers. But yeah, this one did. Let's move on to the next one. Our second button is located in the Ancient Island. Keeping in mind that you can do it in any order, but I'll pick it as the second one. As soon as you get to the Ancient Isles, head left to this shipwright, or this whatever bunker looking building. That's also where you can find the stone rod, and you'll see another button here. Press that. It turns green once it's activated. Next up, we have Rosslit Bay. So once you land there, whichever place it is, by the lighthouse, I won't say fireplace, by the lighthouse, head this way towards where the pond would be. You'll see what looks like ash from I believe it's Overwatch. Basically, there's a button next there. Use that. Oh, it's also where you can buy the glider. I didn't know that. And there's also another lever for another quest. The fourth button is the Forsaken Shores. As you can see, this is where sort of you would go in. That's the Skull Cave. There's a watchtower. There's our button. Last button is at the Snowcap Island. You kind of have to go up to what it's called the Upper Snowcap, I believe. Basically next to this pond. And assuming that you're level at least 220, because that's the right requirement, you probably have already done Wilson's quest. And next to him, on a lamp pole, that's where you can find your last button. Activate that, and we're on our way back to the top of the Northern Expedition. And once we're back, with all the buttons activated, talk to this hiker again. He'll say that, yeah, I was adding a crystal, blah, blah, blah. Didn't think you would find all the buttons. what if we try to take the crystal on one option? Oh, so don't try that one. That wasn't very smart. So I guess the lesson here is that you will need to have the 250,000. Otherwise, you won't be able to take it. It's just taking a really long time to go back up. There we go. So once we're back there, basically don't try to take it. I think we can now just go ahead and purchase it, and yeah, we unlock it and we check, and we have all 4 energy crystals. Now we're on to the last part, and we're now to the last part. We just need to put in the crystals, or so we think. So we'll start off, green crystal, place, boom, nicely lit up. Red goes in, yellow. Lastly, the blue energy crystal. Hold it down to place. Everything trembles. It says it looks like there was an earthquake. Something big must have opened, and it's probably really close. You probably would have think it's around here. Where's the rod? Well, the way it works is you get to this sort of ledge right where the crystals are. Behind them, just underneath, there's a bit of like a nook that you need to go down onto. And if you carefully lie down, see this massive gate. I didn't show it before, but if you were exploring with your cloak, you probably have found it. There's many more secrets I'll probably try and cover later, but long story short, this gate is now open. So rope that we need to use, we just get down there, and that's it. Right in front of us is the Heaven's Rod. Keep in mind you'll need 1.7 million to buy it. The stats are lure speed 40, luck 250, control 0.2, resilience 30, and there's now a limit on max kg. I believe the original one had infinite, but I could be wrong. Keep in mind that this Heaven's Rod is one of the requirements to finish the, I think it's called the Pinion's Aria rod quest. It's technically like one of the best or harder to obtain rods. I'll maybe make a guide on that later, but yeah, if you enjoyed this so far, drop a like, leave a comment, I don't know, share if you want, and this is how you finish it and obtain the Heaven's Rod in 2026.